Good morning and welcome to Round the Globe on Aneke TV. The headlines. Japan welcomes U.S. trade deal announcement. U.S. to pull out of UNESCO. Protest hits Tel Aviv over Gaza food shortages. Edo government appoints BBN's Niger and Lekki SSA on tourism. Super Falcons of Nigeria to face Atlas Lionesses of Morocco in WAFCON finals. I am Faith Wins Ezzy. Now the news in details. We begin in the U.S. The United States President Donald Trump says he has released trade deals with Japan and Philippines in what would be a major development in his tariffs war. Japan, one of the U.S. largest trading partners, confirmed it has reached a deal that would see tariffs and vehicle import levies cut from 25% to 15%. The U.S. president also announced the deal with the Philippines and gave more details on an agreement with Indonesia that was announced last week. The announcements come ahead of an August 1 deadline, after which Trump has threatened increased tariffs. U.S. state says it will withdraw from the UN Educational, Scientific, Cultural, and Communication Organization UNESCO by the end of next year. This is coming only 2 years after it rejoined the United Nations Cultural Agency. The U.S. State Department spokeswoman, Tammy Bruce, said in a statement that her country's continued involvement in UNESCO was not in the national interest of the U.S. The statement accused the organization of working to advance diverse social and cultural causes and maintain an outside focus on the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. President Trump first pulled the country from the Cultural Agency during his first term in 2018 before the country rejoined under the Joe Biden administration in 2023. Israeli activists gathered at Habima Square yesterday for a protest march towards the Israeli Defense Ministry headquarters in Tel Aviv, denouncing the ongoing food shortage and forced displacement of Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. The activists, bearing placards with inscriptions like "Starvation is a war crime and all are responsible. It is being done in our name," marched with sacks of flour towards the Israeli Defense Ministry headquarters in Tel Aviv. Their protests came amid mounting global concerns over reports of famine in Gaza, where United Nations agencies say hundreds of thousands are on the brink of starvation. Humanitarian organizations have raised the alarm over worsening malnutrition, with aid convoy reportedly blocked at the border. Meanwhile, in Kenya, a Kenyan man on death row in Saudi Arabia for more than a decade has been released after a lengthy campaign to save him from execution. A Kenyan Foreign Affairs Ministry official has said. Stephen Abdulkarim Munyako was released under a judicial decree. His mother, veteran journalist Dorothy Kweyu, told local media that she rolled on the floor when she heard of his release. Munyako was working in Saudi Arabia when he was convicted of murdering a Yemeni colleague in 2011. The crime carries a death penalty, but after protracted negotiations, the victim's family agreed to accept blood money. In Congo, people in a gold mining area in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo have been using their bare hands and basic tools to free miners trapped underground. A local journalist, Hasuza Barak, told the BBC that 6 have been pulled out alive, with 1 seriously injured since shaft collapse in Lomera. There have been conflicting reports on the death toll. One resident said that 12 bodies had been found, but Barak said no bodies had been recovered. The area in South Kivu province has been under the control of M23 rebels since they captured swaths of DR Congo's mineral-rich east earlier this year. The M23 rejected reports that hundreds were trapped underground. Back home in Abuja, President Bola Tinubu has directed the National Single Window Steering Committee to ensure that the platform becomes fully operational by first quarter of 2026. The directive was delivered during yesterday's Fifth Steering Committee meeting at the State House, Abuja. This is contained in a statement on the event issued by the presidential spokesman, Mr. Bayo Ononuga, in Abuja. Mr. Ononuga said that the president was represented by his chief of staff, Mr. Femi Bajabiamila. The president said the recent Tax Reforms Act signed into law in June underscored the urgency of accelerating reforms and pursuing Nigeria's $1 trillion economy target. He highlighted the importance of financial and trade reforms in achieving national economic transformation. He emphasized the role of a unified electronic platform in simplifying Nigeria's import and export operations. According to him, the National Single Window Steering Committee will boost investments and trade revenues, improve transparency, and strengthen Nigeria's global business credibility. President Tinubu urged all agencies to refine their targets and key performances indicator (KPIs) to meet the Phase 1 deadline. The House of Representatives Committee on Finance has adopted the 2025 Appropriation Bill of 105.14 billion naira for the operations of the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission (RMAFC). The committee adopted the bill during a budget hearing with RMAFC management, led by its chairman, Mr. Mohammed Shehu, in Abuja. Presenting the budget, Mr. Shehu said 20.6 billion naira was allocated for personal costs, while 8.9 billion was earmarked overhead expenses. He stated that 75.5 billion naira, representing 71.8% of the total, was designated for capital projects. Mr. Shehu commended the committee for spearheading the recent amendment of the RMAFC Act, saying it had enhanced the Commission's effects. The suspended in Kogi State Senatorial District, Natasha Apoti